Davey.
Hi, Jerry. How you doing?
Good. You?
Yeah, not too bad. It's 6:30 in the morning here, so.
Woo!
But
that's about the time Tony would be going to sleep.
Yeah. Oh, geez. So so Papa Roach has their new album F.E.A.R coming out tomorrow. I've had a few listens to it myself, and seems to have a little bit more of a positive vibe than previous albums. Can you talk us through the album a little bit?
Face Everything and Rise. I think that it's congruent with sort of the subject material from the past records, but a lot of what draws people to our music is sort of the hope that it brings, and we wanted to continue that on this one. Jacoby, he's been sober for 3 years, and I think that has a lot to do with how he's presented everything, like all the lyrics in this one.
Yeah.
The big thing for us is, everyone goes through struggle and strife in their lives, and it's really just kind of a call to action to kind of let people know that they can get through it, and once you do, you're going to be all good. Whether it's just negative feelings, problems that you're having, or even fears that are kind of keeping you boxed in or stopping you from doing something that you really want to do. F.E.A.R, as the title, is an acronym for Face Everything and Rise.
Yeah.
So the idea was to take the negative and turn it into a positive.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Now you had Kevin Churko and his son Kane both producing the album. We understand that Kevin did some of the tracks and Kane did some of the others. What difference did they have as producers, and Papa Roach fans likely to hear the difference in who produced which songs?
Funny you mentioned that. I don't know if they're going to know the difference because the sounds are all Kevin and Kane as a team, have sort of developed their sounds together.
Yeah.
So all the sounds of the tones are going to be the same. Their production style or their writing styles are a little bit different.
Yeah.
But the reason that we did, Kevin for part and Kane for part was that In This Moment had come into the studio, as we were working with Kevin. So he had already committed to them,
okay.
Before we had come into the studio. So once they came into the studio, they started with Kevin and we moved over to Kane's place.
Yeah.
So, still in the same building, but different rooms, and it was cool to kind of hear their album take shape at the same time. And as far as working with Kane, it was a bit of an adjustment just because obviously they're different people, but
yeah.
When it comes down to it, they were similar enough. Kevin obviously is a little more old school.
Yeah.
And Kane is his mind frame is a little more modern. But we're really happy with.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've never heard of
both parts of it.
Yeah, I've never heard of like a father and son both producing. So it was like that.
It's kind of crazy because Kane, Kevin was, an engineer for Mutt Lange for a long time. So Kane kind of grew up in that whole thing. And, he's, I'm sure, been given the confidence over the years. And he's just one of those guys that, learns really quickly. So, having that probably 20 years in the studio has sort of given him kind of like a fast track into being a producer. So
yeah, awesome. Here's a big question. I'm sure that the other people who have interviewed you have asked you as well. So after 13 years, Papa Roach is finally coming back to Australia.
Finally.
Finally, it seems like forever. Why, since you last toured in Australia, which was 2002, you've only ever been here once before. You've released quite a few studio albums, so there's been plenty of opportunities to actually come here and tour for a new album. What's the story?
Really, the story is we could never make scheduling work with, we had always kind of wanted to come back just because Australia is so big and you kind of have to fly everywhere.
Yeah.
It can be very expensive.
Yeah.
And we could never go there and sort of build things from the club perspective. So we had to sort of rely on the possibility of doing a festival like Soundwave, just so that we could, financially make it work. And finally, we just told our booking agent, look, or actually our booking agents, because our U.S. agent is different than our international agent.
Yeah.
We said Soundwave has to be the priority, and then we'll work everything else around that. Just because it's been so long, and we still have fans there. Not everyone has totally abandoned us.
Yeah.
So we have to get back there and blow it up. And we know that people want to see us there. So we finally just came to our senses and said, all right, enough of this. We just got to do this.
Yeah, just don't make it another 13 years after this.
No, for sure.
So I was having a look at the schedule for Soundwave, and you guys have got a 60-minute set at each city for the festival. Will you be playing much off the new album, or are we more likely to hear like classic tracks off all your albums?
We'll probably play a couple of new songs, but I think it's we're going to concentrate on making an even mix to kind of just catch people up and give them those main songs that they've been listening to this whole time. Yeah.
So will Papa Roach be announcing any headline shows for your Australian visit?
We had talked about the possibility of doing sidewave shows, but the promoter has not made those known yet.
Yeah.
So we don't really. We're kind of floating in space as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, no, they sort of slowly trickle the sidewave announcements through. I think they announced 2 last Friday. Last Friday before that they announced 3, so they just sort of like trickle them through. So hopefully you guys will be on the list shortly.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know if we're doing it before it gets announced to everybody else. But
yeah.
It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. So you've been with Papa Roach now since 1993. When you joined the band, did you feel that this band had a different vibe and was going to go places, or was it just another band to play guitar in?
Well, it was the only band that I had played with. Previous to that, I was just doing my own thing, playing by myself in my room, learning songs.
Yeah.
And I had seen them play with a trombone player, and it was, obviously very different from what I was into, like metal, industrial, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I could appreciate their energy, and it was fun watching them and all that. But then Jacoby called me and asked me to come play, and I said, I don't think it's going to work out. You guys are like on the way other end of the spectrum from what I'm into.
Yeah.
And he just wouldn't let it go, and he just kept pestering me, and finally I said, oh, okay. I didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
We were in a small town, and it seemed like something fun to do, to get together with people, and we found a way and brought our styles together, and obviously we're here now, but it was pretty funny in that first month or so.
Yeah, I'm just trying to visualize before you joined the band and having a trombone player.
The funny thing is that they covered before they had a guitar player, they covered a Jimi Hendrix song. They covered "Fire" with no guitar. So it was fun.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting. How old were you when you started playing guitar? What players influenced you?
I was 14, 15, and at that time it was all about Metallica, Megadeth, Sepultura, Slayer, Testament, Nine Inch Nails, Skinny Puppy.
Yeah.
Mostly learning Metallica stuff, and I seemed to kind of gravitate toward what James was doing. Like, I just loved all of the rhythms that he was doing, and especially being able to do that while he was singing.
Yeah.
Was something that kind of blew my mind. But yeah, so those were the bands initially, and then obviously kind of grow from there. But
yeah. So what do you listen to these days?
I'm kind of go back and forth between modern stuff and classic. On the modern side, I've been listening to stuff like Of Mice and Men and While She Sleeps and Periphery, and then oftentimes come back to like Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and the Beatles and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then on the mellow stuff, I listen to jazz sometimes, like Thelonious Monk and Charles Mingus, and I'm just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting mix. Any particular bands on the Soundwave Festival lineup that you're keen to watch play live or hang out with?
Faith No More.
Faith No More. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that. Yeah. Any other bands?
Soundgarden. I haven't seen them play in years and years. And then Slipknot. We're good friends with those guys, and let's see them tear it up. So hopefully we'll be on one of the same days.
Yeah.
And there's so many bands that I can't even. I saw the list once and I just kind of got dizzy, and so I want to see as many as possible.
Yeah. So apart from your Soundwave commitments here in Australia, what else are you planning to do while you're here? You gonna do the tourist thing?
I would like to do the tourist thing. I don't know if we'll have time, but I would love to. I'll have to start, putting it out on social networks, like asking people what I should do.
Yeah.
Because I do want to be able to see some stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of Papa Roach fans here that would love to be your tour guide.
If you're on Twitter, I'm at Jerry Horton, so hit me up and let me know.
Yeah. No worries. Well, thank you very much for talking to Maximum Volume today, Jerry, and we're really, really looking forward to seeing you guys finally.
Cheers, Davey. I can't wait.